It's Wednesday, you know what that means, guys. It is Thanks Driving, week number 2. This, of course, open until the 4th of December, much the same as we had last week, but a reward this week of the Christmas sweatshirt for 2024, and I am not mad about this one. I don't actually mind it as a reward for this week, so let's take a look at what we have got in store for this week. First of all, live event race number 1, we have got a circuit of 2.4 miles, foggy, 100% asphalt, with a max RP of 400. That one there's quite interesting. It's probably going to be quite obvious which car we do choose for that race. Move over to the next one, live event race number 3, max RP of 900, a clear night, 100% asphalt, a 4-mile circuit, but this time that max RP of 900, we have once again got a variety of cars that we're going to be using this week. And then lastly, live event race number 2, again a clear asphalt 100%, circuit of 4 miles, this time max RP of 600 rather. So we've got a wide variety of cars that we can use for the live events this week. Let's head on over. Let's jump into the first one for today as we try to scramble there in the M4. And I'm quite impressed so far, guys. We're going to touch on this before we get into the races for today. I am quite impressed with the live events. You know that I think that this is the best part of Test Drive Unlimited currently, is the introduction of these live event races. Last week and this week with the Thanks Driving events, I think they've absolutely nailed it with a large variety of races. So heading in to the very first one for today, absolutely no surprise, guys, we are going to be jumping into Brum. We are all the way at the back of the grid there in the 2CV. We do have a compatriot, we do have a live racer in this one in the Alfa Mito, but we are starting off in the 2CV. We will launch it off the line, try to get some traction, cut through this little alleyway there, because it's always an absolute scramble at that first corner. We can now lay the power down in the 2CV, which is absolutely fantastic. We know how quick this one is so far. The Alfa Mito by Lucky Man absolutely struggling to get traction. The 2CV really stepping away here. A little bit of a tricky section, right hand, left hand, as we do go into the underground car park. Take your time through that one. But we can now make a couple of shortcuts, cutting through the parking spaces, through the barriers, and we can come out of the other side of the underground car park, but we do unfortunately clip the central pillar there, and we do lose some momentum, but we're very much still in first place by around about 4.5 seconds, laying the power back down in the 2CV, which is an absolutely frightening sentence to say. A 2CV, it shouldn't have any power, but we do have stacks of power in our little Brum. Pulling away from the rest of the pack, we will now stretch this lead out, slowing down for the left-hander here. We just want to cut across the curb and crucially miss out that lamppost, and we do so. We can also cut across the grass here. We can probably take a little bit more than we did, saving us a few seconds of race time. And then once again, we can lay the power back down from the 2CV, stretch out 5th gear into 6th gear, break the 130 up towards 140 with a sharp left with a large jump here. Take your time with that one once again into this left-hander. We unfortunately do clip the last little bit of concrete of the barrier and we lose our momentum. We could have had a really good lap time here. Down through this left-hander, we don't want to take too much curb, guys. I've done this race a couple of times. Taking too much curb, we will cause the car to flip. So again, just be a little bit cautious there. We can carry a lot of speed. Like we can with this corner here, we can steal a bit of curb there and take first place, crossing the line. Fantastic race. I love that one. Overall, the 2CV, very strong. Moving over to the second race for today, which will be live event race number 2, and we're going to jump into the Bentley GT Continental. Now this race was forecast as a dry race, and it is not, so I wanted a little bit of traction. Of course, the GT Continental having 4-wheel drive, I do have the standard tyres fitted to it this time. Into the very first corner, I want to get over to the right hand side here so we can open up this first sweeping left-hander, taking out some barriers, and we can get the power down, fully commit round the roundabout here, fully commit to this one, not lifting until we do come up to the second corner, the left hand corner here, where once again we can steal a little bit of those barriers if we really wanted to, but we can fully commit to that sweeping left-hander and get the power down here. The GT Continental absolutely pulling away from the rest of the pack. Big sweeping right-hander here once again, fully committing, not lifting until we do come up to this next little section, which is quite a tricky right-hander if we don't get that one right. And I do miss my braking zone. I get a bit flustered with the gears and I make a meal of that right-hander. We can tidy that one up. Into the left-hander, we can stretch this one right across the road, get the power down as we now come up towards our next left-hander, which again, we can steal some more here. Take out those barriers, it won't slow us down all too much, and we can now put foot to the floor and head on to the freeway section here, staying to the left hand side so we don't have to cut through the barriers just there. A little bit tentative around that corner because the back end will step out on us and we will end up hitting the barrier on the right hand side. But now we can lay the power down here in the GT Continental and we can fully commit to the next couple of corners. The last one actually is quite tricky, we'll get there shortly, but as we do come up to the first left-hander we are fully committed at this point. We have not lifted, we've still not lifted, we do not lift, but as we come into the right-hander here we can see the back end of the car does get unstable and we do end up clipping the central reservation. We don't lose all too much time, but we could have been a lot cleaner. Further on from the race now we can fully commit, we can push forward and we can finish off the race. Around about 20% of this one left. As we come off the freeway, this is a little bit tricky with the lack of traction. We do end up taking another wall, we do lose a chunk of time there. We could have been a lot cleaner, but we are still 11.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. Into this next left-hander, once again we want to be a little bit cautious with it. Again, a lack of traction, we don't want to overcommit and hit the outside pillar, but we've now got through all that. We can get the power down, we can cross the line and we can take out the second win for today's live event series here in the Bentley GT Continental. And of course we will now move forward with the third race for today. And this one's quite a tricky one. This is the one that had a max RP of 900 and we could pretty much choose any car here. But for today I wanted to do something a little bit different and I wanted to jump back into the Audi R8 Decennium and enjoy this one. Launching off the line, we know it's glorious with all the power this one does have. Absolutely fantastic car, guys. If you haven't tried the R8 Decennium, I do urge you to try it. As we are blasted past by a Bugatti Chiron, not all concerned with that one. We know that we have got fantastic handling with the Audi R8. Hopefully we've got some tricky corners here and we will subsequently catch up with the Chiron. Big freeway section here, we want to be very cautious coming into this first left-hander. It is tricky, we do make a little bit of a mess of it. The Chiron does take back first place into our next left-hander here, into the centre of the road on the tram lines here. Is probably the fastest route so we can get our power down as quick as we can. Into this right-hander, fully committing to it. We don't want to lift and we don't want to take out the central reservation like the Chiron just did, and we can now start to make a move on the Chiron, pull away and secure first place for ourselves. We do lift just there ever so slightly. The back end of the R8 started to get a little bit unstable. Into this right-hander again, lifting so we can get ourselves positioned for this left-hander, which is very tricky, guys. We have made a mess of that a couple of times, but coming into it cautiously, coming out of it aggressively is the way to go. Moving forward, moving to the right hand side ever so slightly, they're veering off the freeway section. Again, another tricky right hander here. We don't want to be too fast going into it. We will end up hitting the buildings on the left hand side, but so far so good. We've actually made good progress with the Audi R8 as we do come up into a double left hander here and we do miss our braking zone once again. Unfortunately, we could have set a fantastically quick time, but this one just 2 seconds ahead of the Chiron in second place, but 2 seconds is enough at this point. Left-hander once again just lifting in this one. Don't want to brake too much, we don't want to lose all too much speed as we do push forward to cross the line and take out race number 3 and win number 3 for today's live event series. With that being said, we've of course finished it all off now. We have completed all the points. We have completed ThanksDriving week number 2, and we do get the Avatar Cosmetic, that sweatshirt, which is of course our Christmas 2024 sweatshirt, and I'm not mad about this one. It's going to be good for the pictures for the next month essentially leading up to Christmas, putting content out here onto YouTube. So overall, very impressed once again with ThanksDriving week number 2. I'm sure you guys all are as well. Please let me know in the comment section down below which cars you chose for the 400 RP, the 600 RP and the 900 RP races. It'd be great to know what cars you guys are all using for it. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hope you're enjoying the content that's coming out recently. If you did, smash up the like button, subscribe, tap on the bell, leave me a comment, all the usual good stuff, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video, which of course will be all around Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.